Good afternoon, Cedarfield family. Happy May 12th. I hope you all are doing well today on this fine day. Those of you that are listening tonight, if you have any questions about the content of today's live chat, please certainly feel free to call the administration office tomorrow and or any of the directors of the departments, and we will answer any and all of your questions just as soon as we can. And thank you for taking time out of your day here to listen to some information about Cedarfield. We have I think, a rather informative live chat today. Yours truly talk a little bit about COVID-19 preparedness plans and some administrative updates. Jack Johnson is here to talk about maintenance and a little bit about the roofing project that we have going on. Florence Brooks will be here to talk a little bit about lifestyles and wellness. Penny from Rehab Services could not be with us today, but I do have her tidbits of information that I would love to share. And especially because they're a little bit of a personal note too in the therapy world. So I'm delighted to share those notes with you. Matt Dameron is just coming back from his honeymoon and trying to catch up in his world, so he has a meeting, but I do have a couple of updates from the health services side of things. And then we'll round out this live chat with some spiritual well-being. First, the COVID-19 situation. Our 7-day positivity rate throughout the Commonwealth and Henrico County are looking up because the numbers are going down. In the Commonwealth of Virginia, the 7-day positivity rate is 4.7. And the last time I was standing here, it was at a 5.8. So that's just great news. And also in Henrico County, the 7-day positivity rate this time last week was 5.1, and as I stand here right now, it is 4.1. So everything is headed in the right direction. In terms of our dashboard here at Cedarfield, across all levels of care, independent living, memory support, assisted living, and health services for both residents and team members and any visitors that we've come in contact with over the last 2 weeks. Our dashboard is completely green, so that's continues to trend in the right direction. We are now going on 12 weeks without a COVID case here at Cedarfield. Our preparedness plan has not changed since the last update. For those of you that have that plan on your coffee table in your living room and refer to it often, we have not updated that plan. We do intend to come out with an updated version the middle of next week. We have a meeting with the Department of Health next Monday, and the Cedarfield COVID-19 preparedness team meets Monday afternoon after we receive word from our epidemiologist friends at the Virginia Department of Health. We'll review where our current plan is at and talk about some additional guidance that we intend to fold back into community life here at Cedarfield. So look forward to an updated plan next Wednesday. But just a word of thanks. Over the last 2 weeks, we've opened up the community to, especially on the health services side, to vaccinated family members or guests coming directly into the residence room in memory support, assisted living, and the health center. And that process has been going great. I want to thank all the families that are listening for your cooperation in getting your vaccine card to the neighborhood leader. that whole process is just working out really, really great. So we thank you. We went through a little bit of a hiccup at the gatehouse, and so those vaccinated folks that gave their card to the gate or to the neighborhood leader that were under the impression that you could come and go as you wish to visit your loved one in the residence room. That process is true. It's part of our plan. We did have a little hiccup at the gatehouse. So if you have a vaccine card and you've given it to the neighborhood leader, you can come and go as you wish to visit your loved one here at Cedar Field. Anyone that is not vaccinated and has not given a neighborhood leader a vaccine card must visit the resident in a visitation vista that we've had here for the last 12 months. And those visitation vista visits have to be scheduled with the neighborhood leader. All that to be said is the gatehouse does have a schedule of those particular individuals that are not vaccinated that need to come into the community through a visitation vista. So the gatehouse will stop those particular individuals, and if someone's not vaccinated and you're not on the list, then we'll go through a different process. So hopefully that provides a little bit of clarity for the families that are listening tonight about the Cedar Field guidance in assisted living, memory support, and health services. If you have any additional questions about visitation protocol, we, I think, have ironed out all the bugs to our process, and you can certainly feel free to talk to the neighborhood leader who is working in concert with the security department. So I think we've ironed a couple things out. We do continue to test weekly on Wednesdays from 1 to 3. All unvaccinated team members or private duty personnel. So those residents out there or family members that are still concerned, as am I, about folks that are unvaccinated and the potential for those folks to be carrying the virus into Cedar Field. We have that other additional layer of a requirement within our preparedness plan of testing those folks every week. And the good news is the last 6 weeks that we've been doing this, we have not unearthed any positive cases through that weekly testing. Just as a gentle reminder, at this point, we at Cedar Field, following guidance from the Virginia Department of Health, we're not at a point where guests and visitors can freely come into the common space areas. And the big question is the restaurants, where we are not at that point. We clearly understand that there are other retirement communities or nursing homes that are allowing that. And we are choosing to work with the Virginia Department of Health and look at our continued guidance and where Cedar Field is at in our evolution of our preparedness plan in bringing that element back to the community. Perhaps on Monday we'll talk about that item and give everybody maybe a little bit more of an estimate when we can expect that layer to be layered back into, like I said, the community. I think that's it about our preparedness plan update. Again, just thank you to all the residents and the team members. It takes a village. How many times have we heard that phrase over the last 14 months? I know I have said it often. It takes a village to create a green dashboard in the manner that we have over the last several weeks. And so thank you to the residents, thank you to the team members who are listening, and certainly thank you to the families that are now visiting the community. We have a plan in place and a shared values that we're all trying to respectfully adhere to in order to keep everybody safe and alive, and we're doing a great job of it. So thank you, I appreciate it. In terms of the vaccine distribution, we still have a partnership with Remedy Pharmacy, They have the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and so Cedarfield is prepared, and we have protocols and procedures in place to offer a J&J clinic right here at Cedarfield. So like I said, we're prepared to do that. If any resident wishes to have a J&J vaccine, please contact Ann Hopper. Once we have 5 people interested, we can hold a clinic. Any team member and or a private duty personnel that works at Cedarfield interested also in the J&J, please contact Connie McGowan, our infection control nurse, and she'll get you on the list. Once we have 5 individuals, it doesn't matter which bucket we're talking about, we can hold a clinic. So we are ready and able to do that. I think that's all of my COVID-19 preparedness plan update. We have any questions about the COVID? No questions about COVID. Okay. Before I turn it over to Jack Johnson, I just want to wish all of the nurses out there, both team members and residents, happy Nurses Week. We, every vocation is critical around the world in order to make the world go around, but nurses are just so inspiring. And this last week is a week dedicated from this May 6th through the 12th, is a week really dedicated to the nursing profession. And certainly the nursing profession has stepped up and has shown the world how important nurses are and have been, especially over this last year. As one highlight, many of you probably read the Richmond Times-Dispatch this past weekend. Our very own Ann Hopper was highlighted in that edition. Congratulations to Ann, and thank you to Mrs. Pepple for offering the application and starting the ball rolling to get Ann ultimately picked through the Richmond Times-Dispatch. It's well deserved. Ann Hopper is just a blessing to be here. She gives us many reasons every day to look up. She's a phenomenal nurse. I know if I'm stranded on an island and I want a nurse around me, I want somebody that has a disposition like Ann Hopper. She's just wonderful. So to all the nurses, happy Nurses Week. The residents that live here that have a nursing background and legacy, thank you too, because you might be retired, but certainly you can't take the nurse out of the individual. And so you bring that very nurturing spirit to Cedarfield, which contributes to the spirit of our community. And so happy Nurses Week to you as well. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jack Johnson with some maintenance updates. Florence will follow Jack, and then I'll come back with a couple more of some operational updates.
Thank you, Michael. So I thought I'd share with everyone some notes about April and the first part of May. We completed a lot of projects. One of the biggest ones in the main building here and around the campus was the Comcast equipment upgrades. There were 1,200 cable boxes to be replaced and upgraded during those 2 weeks, and they completed them all with very few problems. I'm happy to say that project's completed now. So also in April, we had a couple of days of some warranty repairs over in the D wing. Got those things completed, finally scratched off our list of things to do. We had the new household building ribbon cutting, which was followed by moving the 18 residents and their belongings into the new spaces over there. Again, went very smoothly. Thank everybody for their help and support in seeing that through. Also, maintenance and our staff cleared out all of the special care space to get ready for the construction team to move in for the renovations. Those were all big items and things that we're glad we're beyond and ready to start with the new remodeling. So also during April and 1st of May, we completed the 20 cottage roofs were replaced within 2.5 weeks. They had good weather and were able to get those done very quickly and did a very nice job. And for the main building, they have completed the healthcare side and are now working on the independent living side of the main building. Everything's going as planned. If the weather holds out, they should be all complete by the end of next week. So be glad when that's all finished and we can scratch that one off our list of things to do. But things I do ask is that as that roof work continues, that as we travel around the outside of the building to try to stay clear of the caution taped areas where they're loading and unloading the equipment and debris and things from the building. We want to try to be as safe as we can around all of that. Also, I've been in contact with the contractor and the managers through that. He has promised me daily that, as the project goes, they will be cleaning and picking up the debris and things that blow down from the roof and do everything they can to prevent any kind of damages and things like that. So throughout the month, maintenance still had its normal duties and things that they took care of as far as the PM programs and the everyday maintenance and things. We had 800 new work orders coming in and still were able to complete the 789 of them. So all in all for April, it was a very busy month, and we were able to complete a lot of things efficiently and quickly, and we're looking forward to getting more things taken care of in May. So thank you for everyone for your support and help, and as Michael said, it very much takes a village to get these things completed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack. On behalf of Health Pro Heritage, I just have a couple of tidbits from the therapy area. Penny, who is our rehab services manager, actually is seeing a resident right now for an evaluation. So she wanted me to share 2 bullet points. And the first one I am so delighted to share with you because my wife, Julie, is a speech pathologist, and May is Speech Pathology Month. So I know a little bit about speech pathology because I'm surrounded by it all the time. My wife went back to school. Many of you probably know she's her first master's degree was from Princeton University in theology. She's a Presbyterian minister and had interest in going back to school to be a speech pathologist. So in our time, in our journey together, we lived in Kansas at one point, and Julie went back to the University of Kansas, go Jayhawks, and received her master's degree in speech language pathology. So May is Speech Pathology Month, otherwise known as Better Speech and Hearing Month. So as we go through life, we usually have a dentist, we have a primary care doctor, we might have a lawyer in our life. We have certain disciplines and vocations in our life that we have with us in order to live life as independently and as supportively as possible. I would encourage anyone that's listening today to get to know a speech pathologist. Speech pathology is so much more than helping somebody talk. In fact, when I listen to my wife come home from the hospital or from a home health visit, probably 80% of what she talks about is how she helps somebody with communication and how she helps somebody with cognition, or how she helps somebody help them with the routine of their day, or eating and swallowing and drinking. And so a speech pathologist is just, in my humble opinion, is just a critical person, a vocation that any one of us should have in our life. We should know that person. I'm fortunate I get to know that person in my very own household. This is how important speech pathology is to me. In many nursing homes, speech pathologists don't even have an office. They just see people wherever they can be met, whether it's in the hallway, in a dining room, maybe even in the resident apartment. When we went through phase 1 here of our master plan expansion and created our outpatient therapy space here on the 3rd floor, I asked the architect, I said, we are not putting speech pathology in the corner, in the tiny closet in the back part of the therapy. Speech pathology is going to get its own space. They're going to get ample space and quiet space so they can meet people on their terms in a very neutral location so that it's easily accessible. Again, because probably 80% of the time we're talking about cognition issues. And so if you walk into Health Pro Heritage right now, the speech pathology's office is the very first office that you come encountered with. So if you know of anybody, or perhaps if you are listening here today and are thinking to yourself, I'm having a little bit of swallowing difficulty, I'm having some maybe eating difficulty, swallowing food or drink, communication's becoming a little bit increasingly difficult for me, time management or carrying myself through the rhythm of the day is becoming a little bit more difficult, go see Health Pro Heritage and ask to get a speech pathology evaluation, and you'll be better off for it, I guarantee it. The second part of what Penny wanted me to talk about, she has a discovery series that's well in motion here at Cedar Field. And on May 27th at 1:30, there is another discovery series topic that they are hosting. It's called Eating for a Sharper Mind, otherwise known as, if you're reading The Informer, I think that the motto of that meeting is called Nourish Your Noggin. And so food is just critical. So please don't take that one for granted, and you might learn something from that session as well. The public service announcement coming from the Health Pro Heritage. One is we are blessed here in the next 10 days. We have 75-degree weather, but that summer heat is going to hit us really all of a sudden, probably at the end of the month or the beginning of June, and all of a sudden it's going to be like 90 degrees pretty consistently. And so when we have such a stretch of nice weather and then boom, 90 degrees, what we tend to see is a lot of dehydration. We see increased falls of folks. And so the public service announcement today is please continue to the best that you can, really hydrate your body now. Prepare for when that 90-degree weather is about to hit very suddenly. If you're drinking 5 to 6 glasses of water a day, you will be well on your way to being able to handle the 90-degree day that's suddenly going to come our way. So you have, right now, I was just looking at the forecast, 10 days out, we're looking at 75 to 78 degrees. So that first 90-day degree day is coming, probably coming real soon. And the second public service announcement has to do with shoes, the shoes that you wear. Summertime, a lot of folks love to wear flip-flops or Crocs or other forms of shoes that may not be the safest to wear especially when our bodies are trying to fight the heat. And so if you have any questions about the type of shoe or you're thinking about purchasing shoes, Health Pro Heritage would love to chat with you about the type of shoe that would be best for you in order to prevent a fall throughout the summertime. We see more falls throughout the summertime than any part of the year because people are fatigued and we start to drag our legs and our feet. But if you have the proper shoe wear, we might be able to avoid some unnecessary falls because you have form-fitting shoes. So take advantage of those two really important public service announcements. Next on my list, just a couple more things. Recruitment and retention. Just want the residents and the families to know that probably the one thing that keeps me up at night is retaining good people and recruiting great people to come to Cedar Field. In the marketplace that we are in right now, it is extremely difficult to attract good people to want to come out of unemployment benefits and come to work. And so, among many other reasons. But in today's world, recruitment is just critical. We have particularly 2 action teams that meet weekly. We meet for about 60 minutes in the dining services department and in the nursing department. We talk about recruiting servers and cooks, and in the other meeting, we constantly talking about recruiting CNAs and LPNs and retaining our own. And so I just want to give a little level of assurance to the community that we are proactively looking at and lifting all stones to make sure that we are uncovering new and inventive ways to recruit, looking at traditional methods that maybe have been overlooked, and trying to find the best of the best to work at Cedar Field. We will not settle. We're not just going to hire people for the sake of hiring people, but we do have 2 very active recruitment action teams alive and well that are exploring the topic. In terms of our master plan expansion, the health services portion of our community, the administration wing, that construction is well on its way. And I can say the schedule is on schedule. It's just it's so refreshing to be able to report that. We have a target date of the beginning of August for that wing to be turned over to us from our friends over at Horrigan Construction, so all that's great news. The assisted living dining room is well underway of being renovated, and that is on schedule. And we received the final clearance from the Department of Health, who gave us our final permit to move forward with renovating Morning Glory Avenue's old location. And so we will begin the construction of, for those of you that have been here for a while, Special Care, Sunshine Plaza, Memory Support, Memory Care, all those other names. That area down there on the 2nd floor, which is now what we call as Morning Glory Avenue, that will be under construction the early part of next week. And as it relates to housekeeping, Sharon did want me just to relay a message that there's cushions on the way for all of the porches. And so I think many of the porches have started to receive new cushions in independent living, and she's just delighted to be able to deliver that new product to everybody. And then my last thing before I turn it over to Florence just has to do with speeding. I know when you talk about driving a car at Cedar Field, there's always, the conversation always gravitates now that we have speed bumps to that topic. So It seems like there are people who avoid the speed bumps on the lane that go down the area closest to the main building with an elevated speed. And so just a word of caution to everybody that is listening. Thank you to folks that are using the lane and are utilizing the speed bumps and slowing down to 14 miles an hour. That's all just great news. Yours truly drives down the lane every time I come to work and leave the property just to experience 4 speed bumps every day, in and out. A word of caution, if you're trying to avoid those speed bumps and coming down the main building, if you just watch your speed along the main building, that would be great. Otherwise, Jack and I are considering putting speed bumps next to the main building as well, so that we can be rest assured that everyone is safe no matter the location and the driving speed. So thank you for that public service announcement as well. I think that's all on my plate right now. I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Florence Brooks, who has some tidbits about wellness and lifestyles and is going to deliver our spiritual well-being. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be with you all this afternoon, and thank you for tuning in for this live stream and for an update from Lifestyles and Wellness. I want to make you aware that we're in the process of doing a study on our Touchtown applications. That's the in-house channels as well as the app, the My Cedarfield app. If you are interested in learning more about how to utilize the My Cedarfield app, please reach out to Laurie Ryu. She has a survey that she'd like for people to complete, and will also be rolling out classes in June and throughout the summer that we would love for you to attend so you can participate in that. Also tomorrow, our Pathways to Wellness group is going to be getting together to be taking a closer look at the 10 dimensions of wellness, and we're going to be focusing particularly on the My Cedarfield app and the programming that we offer through the app. Georgia Brown, James Torres, and Katrin Soltis are our lifestyle coordinators. If you have input and thoughts on programming, please be sure to reach out to any one of the 3 of them, and they'd be happy to assist you. The Hermitage of Richmond, one of our sister communities, has reached out this coming Saturday. They're going to be having an Arts on the Lawn event, and of special, there are going to be many exhibitors there, including several Cedarfield residents and team members who will be bringing creations, including clay creations and glass creations and pendants. So it's supposed to be, I think, a pretty day, and it'll be a really special place to gather on that green space and see all the beautiful arts that are there. Some of the fun things that are taking place right now in the Creative Art Studio include sewing classes. This is a wonderful picture of one of our sewing instructors, Ann Margaret White, and one of our sewing students, Jacqueline Chaplin. Ann Margaret facilitated several residents making these quilts that have they're fidget quilts, and they have all sorts of zippers and buttons, and they're very tactile, and they'll be sharing those with the Veterans Hospital, and the long-range view is to make more to have to share with our memory care community here at Cedarfield. I mentioned last month the Faces of Cedarfield project to benefit the Cedarfield Scholarship Fund. If you're interested in that, please contact resident Sally Ayers. Here's a behind-the-scenes shot of Sally and Grant just enjoying the process of creativity. Something that's really exciting is upstairs in the Cedarfield Gallery. Cedarfield resident Susan Hutchison today opens her exhibit entitled The Desserts of Cedarfield. I know that you will enjoy seeing these whimsical, wonderful watercolors and other watercolor paintings that are up in the exhibit, but Susan has quite a few dessert paintings, which I know that you will enjoy seeing. They're such a delight, so colorful, and it's really neat how she's pulled the themes together. So be sure to walk that way and see those artworks. Michael shared with you at the beginning of the live stream how honored we are to have our Cedarfield nurse manager, Ann Hopper, recognized by the Times-Dispatch. There was a beautiful article in the Times-Dispatch on Ann and her work here, but more importantly, her story of her journey to becoming a nurse, and especially to how meaningful she finds it to work here at Cedarfield. Today, as you may know, is Florence Nightingale's birthday. And Florence Nightingale said, "Live life when you have it. Life is a splendid gift. There is nothing small about it." I think that's something that it's important for us to remember here at Cedarfield. We all know how precious life is, and as we're given the gift of years, we realize how extraordinary this gift is. Our hope through Lifestyles and Wellness and through all of that we offer here at Cedarfield is that we are enriching your journey so that you will indeed enjoy this splendid gift, because there is indeed nothing small about it. Thank you. You all have a great week.